Welcome to the last session of Indieway. We have Ata Deniz Oktay, a game developer in Last Byte Games, Kıvanç Yücel, and we have independent game developer Gökcan Kırca. We have game jam game presentations and reviews. Thank you. Okay, we can start now. I would like to tell you about the format first. As ITU Game Design and Development Club, we have released 15 to 20 games, and some of those games will be shown in this session. Before reviewing them, we are going to talk about game jam events in Turkey and in global scale. As developers, we are going to tell you about what we saw in game jams and what we recommend to other people. And we want to give some advice to people who are going to attend game jam events. We are going to tell you about our experience there and what we found useful. And we are going to tell you how we can benefit from game jam events. For new ventures into gaming industry, game jams are extremely important. You can apply your information that you have just learned there, and you can meet potential colleagues, teammates, team members there. So I think new developers should join game jams. So as three different developers, we are going to tell you about our experiences. And we have a improv chat for 20 to 25 minutes. And if you want to have any remarks, any questions, you can ask us. And then we're going to show you some games that was developed in context of game jams. Before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ata Deniz Oktay. I was a founder somewhere, but the company is dissolved now. We are going to continue with a new team in the new year. I'm an independent game developer right now. I have been in the gaming industry for 2.5 years. I'm an independent developer, and now Kıvanç is my team member, colleague. We are developing a game. We are going to publish it on Steam in 2023. And I have a lot of independent game jam games. I have attended maybe around 20 game jam events, and that's it from me. My name is Kıvanç. I'm an independent game developer at Ata. I'm a game artist for 2 years. I have been in the gaming industry for 2 years. I have attended more than 15 game jams. Some of them were on global level. Some of them were local. I had nice achievements there. And I had the chance to partake in an internship program. And I spent a lot of time with the community there. We exchanged information. And that's it from me. Hello, my name is Gökcan. I have been in the gaming industry for the past 5 years. Sometimes I have been in the industry for on and off for 5 years. I have around 15 to 20 game jam experiences. They have been all local events. I made some games in game jams. I work on coding, and I work on design as well. Okay, let me ask you a question then. Okay, this is a general question for new ventures in the gaming industry. So let's say there's a person, and this person wants to be an independent game developer. So if somebody wants to become an independent game developer, what does game jam mean to this person? So what did you gain from these game jam events? And for newcomers to gaming industry, independent game development industry, do you recommend game jam to these people? For me, I am still learning game development. I'm still a student. For me, a painter continues to draw better in the future, paint better in the future, is similar with game developers. So you have to develop more games to be better at your job. So you have to gain experience in the industry. You can gain experience for the industry in game jam. You can apply your information practically. At the same time, you do this with several people. You share the same stresses. Doing this simultaneously benefits you in terms of networking. In terms of networking, you meet people, you exchange information. Also, your knowledge base can cross with other people, and this will affect your next moves. So game jams and overall all events are really useful for me. I think game jams have two main purposes. First purpose is to in your first 5 to 10 game jams, you just get to know what it is you try to do, make some games, maybe you experiment. So a lot of game developers start with game jams. So let's say in a 24 or 48-hour period, you push yourself and you jumpstart your career. That stress, the time limit, the constraint really pushes you to your best. Okay, maybe you should answer it too. Okay, my answer is I agree what you say. We complement each other with our answers. For me, I gained awareness. I start a big project. Let's say I start a big project. By big project, I mean 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Then during the development process, I learned something new. And applying this new information in the same project is hard. But in a game jam, you can turn this information to new products in a short period of time. So I couldn't use that information in my project, but I can use it in game jams. So let's say if I learned a new design pattern in programming programs, it's hard to integrate into existing code because the rest of the code would become useless then. But when you start a new project, everything is fresh, everything is easier to implement. So you can use this playground to your imagination. In terms of design and game design, you can try new methods. For example, in a game jam, before digital prototyping, I tried paper prototyping, and it really expanded my horizon. So you can add on your past experiences in a project, but with another project, with a fresh start, you can try this new information and apply your information. So game jam really expanded my horizon and taught me a lot. Okay, second question. So what is the purpose of joining a game jam for you or for a newcomer to the gaming industry? What is the purpose of a game jam? I can say making money. But there are some rewards, but it's not that big. That's a different subject. Let's not get into it. The purpose of game jam is, for me, as I just mentioned, is to apply your information that you have just learned, but you can't apply it to your current project. So you learn something and you reinforce it through game jam. I always do this, so it's nothing new for me. If I started another project, maybe outside game jam, I would still do it. But in game jams, at the same time, you meet potential teammates through game jams. I have been in 3 indie teams, indie gaming development teams. I met I joined my first team through game jams. It's a natural process. But to be able to create a team, you can make a network, you can create a network through game jams. I have a lot of people I'm still in contact with. I still have a lot of people that I want to work in the future with, and I met those in game jams. It's also an excuse to make independent games. Okay, I can add these. I study digital game design. I see this in my class, or I see it in myself. Sometimes we don't want to make games. We don't have the energy to make games. We are overwhelmed at times. But in game jam, there are maybe 200 people, maybe thousands of people. So you follow a herd psychology. It motivates you. Everybody is afraid of starting. Everybody is afraid of starting to make a game. But through game jams, you make a leap of faith, and you benefit a lot from it. I don't like the price of game jams, but let me talk about high production game jams. I went there with a nice team. I placed well, and that makes a good portfolio for me. It makes me visible in the industry if I make a good placements in the game jam. So that's beneficial for me. I agree with both of you. A short time ago, I noticed this. After my 10th game jam, going to another game jam didn't contribute a lot to me, but some other game jams have different listings for they have innovation ranking, and innovation ranking was really interesting for me. For the first 5, first 10, they had different ideas, and one of them was this. They tried to make the most minimalistic product, and it had to have a unique mechanic. It had to be simple, but it had to be unique. So it should be able to be noticed instantly. And that's what I thought. So I started to join game jams with this purpose. Okay, let's talk about our presentations today. In local game jams, especially in local game jams and sometimes in global game jams, we see newcomers to gaming industry, and they make mistakes. So what is the most common mistakes? What do you observe from newcomers? The biggest mistake is related to my previous answer. Feature creep is easy to fall into. They say, hey, let's add this, let's add that, let's add this, let's add that. You don't have time. When you have that many features, if the base game isn't good, the features don't make it good. So they spend a lot of time on features, and they can finish their projects. So you shouldn't fall into that trap. You shouldn't focus on feature creeping. You should focus on a simple subject, and you should polish that aspect of the game. I have 2 additions to this, but these complement each other. These 2 complement each other. One of them is, after completing the game, you should share it with the community. After a game jam, a community, Discord community for the game jam stays active. But after a game jam, you can still, I can still share my game, and through that, I'm going to connect to the second matter. When I show my games to people, they can tell my shortcomings, and I try to fix these shortcomings until the other next jams or another project. So through those feedbacks that I can develop myself, I can grow myself. You should share your games, and you should notice your shortcomings. I think that is one of the most important things for me in game jams. So you're saying that you put out a product, but the actual development, actual growth comes through sharing this product and getting feedback for it. So you shouldn't really develop a game and leave it to die. In my portfolio, Beez.dev, the game pages are really important for me. I put attention to it. Also, when the page is nice, page looks nice, people interact with you, and that's a different aspect, different dimension for it. So getting feedback for your work really grows you. It's really important. Gökcan said feature creeping, and that's really important problem. If you're a newcomer, that's a normal thing, because if you try to do 10 things and achieve none of it, that's bad. But maybe you do one main mechanic, one side system, and that's good enough for game jam. And I think that should be the standard, because you have 48 to 72 hours, and you can add those extra features. Even if the game jam is 7 days to 10 days or 2 weeks, you can only work for 48 to 72 hours if you can focus. In one of the game jams, we worked full-time every single day. If you put aside those scenarios, we don't really work that much in game jams, so you don't really work that much. My first advice is about feature creep. In game jam, I don't really like story. I say don't add story to your game jam games. I just want gameplay from game jam games. Then I maybe soften my attitude towards it. If you want to add something about story, if you want a story to your game, you can add it. Maybe you can add it through environmental factors, but I don't think you should put interactable items, objects in the game. And I don't think there should be dialogue between characters. There shouldn't be cutscenes. I think you should pay attention to voiceover. Voiceover shouldn't hinder the development of other mechanics, main mechanics. So you should put forward one mechanic, maybe one side mechanic, and polish that. In game jams, GM take away, etc. The first places, you see that the first places are always polished. Only sometimes unpolished games win it, but those games are really unique. Those are really innovative. So games without art, or games with simple art, unpolished games have unique mechanics, and you really get surprised by it. You get caught off guard. Before we go on the presentations, I added a bit too much comment, I think. We have around 20 minutes. We can go forward with the presentations. Sefa, please come here and review the presentations. Thank you very much for your speeches. Our first game is coming up. I don't know the format. I think I should have introduced myself. Welcome, everybody. My name is Yusuf Kirek. I'm 25 years old. I have been professionally working in the gaming industry as a developer for 4 years. When developing this game, we were 3 friends, but one of my friends was sick. He couldn't make it here. And we had Ahmet, but he didn't attend it at all. So I'm all alone here. I will play the gameplay in the background. we had a big plus. We had a feature creep problem. And in order not to go through that same pain again, we made a simple game. We wanted chromosomes when we killed enemies. And when we died, our character can be upgraded. And we would show our character evolving. I cannot hear the speaker because of the game sound, so I cannot translate this part.
The sounds of the speaker and the video, they do overlap, so that's why we can't hear them. The game was composed of two different pieces. One was the attack, the other was the attack. So it was an attack that who some different further targets. So we were unable to create an environment that enabled it. Only we removed it. When we use that feature, it is all up to our imagination. Imagine it's making an attack and a moment where we kill them. We have their special power. It is the scenario. So imagine me hitting from a distance, and then when I kill them, I get the special power of the creature. And at later stages, there are other creatures. And there is a creature with special power. When we kill them, we also can grab their special power as well. And we get stronger and stronger at following levels. So this is the concept. And everything that I've shown, they're not the way they have been released in them. Some of them we've amended. And we make these changes according to the comments that we receive. And that's all. Say the Gem was a game that we developed with Karan and Jaylan. Jaylan is not with us today. And this game is based on the evolution theory, and we wanted to address it in a different way. We wanted our character to have more resilience because the way the character was scheduled to evolve, and the Save the Gem is published in 48 hours, so we can compromise on many aspects. We start with the normal zone. We have our controls. Nothing really happened here. Nothing really happened. And we can regenerate our character here. In the crossy zone, we had a mechanical design here. And we have a very simple ground here. We're trying to ensure that we respect it. In the warm zone, there is another diamond we're trying to grab, and as the ground is quite hot, so the character jumps all the time, and as they jump, they can't really go that high, and we have an underwater zone, and so we focus on keeping the gravity and to the character, and we wanted to make it difficult for the character to swim. And after they start moving, it is difficult for them to move. And the purpose of the game, there are 3 diamonds in different zones. So it's been about something being collected. And the controls of the ASD, depending on the zone, we have a jumping power, pace, the ease of use and the controls, and friction power. And what I didn't mention is that it is not possible to finish zones in one go. You try it over and over, and character resilience, depending on the zone, changes. In our second or third trial, we can go to other zones. This is the video where it is released in Gem in the last 24 hours. And the second is the second is presented to OTG using hubs, and we had different developments. We tried to add things that we didn't normally have. There are different techniques. Character is cold and the color has changed. And on the upper part, we don't have any animation because I wasn't big enough. As we knew that it wasn't going to be enough, that's why the character was round. We were thinking about a different character. We realized we wouldn't be able to manage timing. We could actually develop different zones, but rather than this, we wanted the time to be sufficient. That's why we wanted to add all the zones in one screen, in one scene. And we were unable to add these bubbles. And now we added it in Save the Gem. And this is how the video goes. And this is the hot zone. The camera adjustments were bad in the first version. We fixed it, and the coloring has changed depending on the zone. The first jump into the water, it was quite rigid, and we softened it a bit. I think I can conclude the presentation here. And the drawer, I wanted to show the winning screen. And the next presentation is Evolve Check. I'll give the floor to them. Ata Deniz is my name. The unit worker of the team. Ahmed has not been able to join us. We developed it together. Gökcan Kırca is my name. I'm the sound designer of the game. This is a score-based game, and the evolution team. We want to play it. We start with chicken, it can turn a dragon at the end. There are different types of attacks here, and the characters can fly. There were different shortcomings in the jam. The scoring mechanism was different. We could win scores by killing the enemy. Was a good idea, but in practice it wasn't how we imagined it. There wasn't even the idea of fun there. But then we changed it at the development stage. And this is how it looked at the development stage. We did it in one day. The main logic of the game. We wanted to enhance the sensation. Unfortunately, the sound of the video overlaps with the sound of the speaker, so we are unable to do it right now. We'd like to thank everybody for their presentation and the last presentation. Was my first gem. I worked as a developer in this game. I helped Kutay a bit. It was my first jam as well. I was the 3D artist. I was the sound designer. And Gülen was the content officer. And we had Batuhan who did the music. As the video is playing, I'm going to tell. This is a shooter game. Let's see if there are the sounds. This is a very brief character video that I want to share with you.
This is the walking animation. We have a lot of videos to show, but we are keeping it short. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for the presentations. Now we will have the reviews. Okay, we don't have a lot of time. We want to sum it up in 5 to 6 minutes. So I will comment on every games, and after me, Kıvanç will comment on the games, and Gökcan will comment. Let me start with Evolup. Yusuf, where are you? Oh, hey, hello. You tried a lot of things, and everything looked nice. But I think you were influenced by Vampire Survivors, and I don't think picking up loot was juicy enough. I think Brotato could be a nice reference point for you, because I think they do it better than Vampire Survivors. And the nice particles, walking particles, the chromosomes are nice. These are juicy aspects. Nice to see them. You added more than one bosses. There are more than one enemy. We saw some interface. You have a detailed upgrade system. We would rather more basic, more simple but polished features. This applies to other games as well. I will touch it on again. Let me comment on Save the Gem. The things you added afterwards are extremely nice. The underwater particles are nice. When you are cold, your color changes. Those are nice touches, nice polishing. I think you did really well there. And it shows us clues about the universe we are in. Animation, in order to cut down on time, you didn't use animation, so you made circular characters. But I saw the jumping effect on the second version. I think it's really valuable in game jams. Solving animation issues with coding, small tricks is really nice. I value it greatly. There are different aspects in every biome, and that was nice. In the left side, there wasn't that much platforming, but in the right side, there was platforming. So left side is less detailed in terms of platforming. So it has a theme, okay, but mechanically, it doesn't add that much to the game. In that context, I think you should build on icy parts and underwater parts, and you should polish them. I think it would have been better to polish them and build upon them instead of adding a new biome. Apart from that, I don't have anything to add. Nicely done. I really liked it in the game jam. Evolve check, Arda. Okay, you are there. It shows potential in that, and when you polish the game enough in a game jam, it could have become one of the most innovative games in the game jam. You know the video, The Art of Screenshake. There are some elements. I think it would really fit to your game in terms of the design, in terms of design elements. Dead or done assets are staying in the screen. Imagine they splatter around, And imagine the particles move around when you walk on them. I think after 2 or 3 minutes, there would be dead bodies everywhere, parts everywhere. These are not real nice words. So imagine there are balls, you hit them, they move. I think they build up. The permanence could be really nice for your game. In the second version, you had objective-based system, and I think that's a nice touch as well. So your animations are also really nice. Your art was nice. You increase the bullet size. I think that's a nice touch. Auto screen shake is one of the most essential touches. I think, I hope you could have done these touches in Game Jam. Then it would have been a polished Game Jam game. But really nicely done. I like your game. We have the last game. In the end of the Game Jam, you had nothing in terms of a game. So whatever you had became a magical product afterwards. You had a lot of content. You have 9 different enemies, 15 different attacks. I think you are the embodiment of scope creep. Also, you have debuffs. These are complex systems. I think game jams, you shouldn't focus on feature creeping or content creeping. That's an overscoping from your part. So the other comments apply on the comments for the other games apply for you too. You should have kept the scope narrow, kept the basic mechanic, a main mechanic, and build upon those. We can talk afterwards, so I will leave the floor to Kıvanç before I talk too much. Nicely done. I'm glad you're here, and thank you for your presentation. I played the games. I played the Game Jam versions. The Dolphin game wasn't there back then. I like the fact that you added the menu. And you could focus on the mechanics due to this nice trick, nice shortcut. The upgrades really affected the mechanics in the game. With every upgrade, you became stronger, and that's really important for me. In the Jam build, I saw a lot of bugs, but you fixed those. The boss didn't feel like a boss in the Game Jam version, but you fixed that. In the build, I think you couldn't beat the boss, but in your second version, I think you can now beat it. The color change with passing time is a nice touch as well. And I don't think I have anything other. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You say you say like you will get major upgrades after you kill monsters, and I like that idea. About Save the Gem, I remember old Newground games. It was like heartwarming. I like your works. I would have wanted a different mechanics for 3 different parts. Different mechanics in fire version, fire biome, ice biome. And I think I would have liked it to be more sympathetic. When I played it yesterday, you added a lot of things. I noticed the warming up part. I saw the bubbles. In terms of game design, it is accessible. You can access 3 parts, but when I played it, I noticed that I can just go bottom and win, but I couldn't go back. I wanted to go back. Arda's game, in your game, I like the idea, but aesthetically it's problematic. Because in terms of detail, there isn't that much. Pixel ratio should be kept similar to be safe. In a arms race game, evolving it makes sense. I wish I could have seen more mechanics, more additions, features, but in the new version, I thought myself, hey, I think you watched the video. You added screen shake, yeah, you increased the bullet size, and those are nice touches to the game. I think you did well in terms of development, and I think you should just polish the controls. I think it's a really nice game for a game jam game. I think one of you wanted to learn GFX, and I think you found that opportunity here. I think you learned GFX well, and I think you had a good time there. That's the important part, and nicely done. Hello. My friends mentioned good things. I have a couple of remarks. Evolup for Evolup. I think this is a light game. The complexity, there's a couple of complex elements. You are focusing on a couple of complex elements, and you make an ASMR simulator. You have different skills. You have different creatures. I thought when creatures died, I would see different creatures, and I don't think it has a complex feature. Maybe you have it as an idea, but if you want to make a game similar to Vampire Survivors, if you want to make a game in this similar genre, I think you should focus on different enemies. You have magic spells on your left to right clicks. How are you going to add more spells? How are you going to create a complex environment? Is there a design deficit here? If you can solve this issue, if you can solve this shortcoming, you can create an interesting mechanic, but I'm not sure how you can create an interesting mechanic. I don't know right now. Apart from that, I think it was a good game. For Save the Gem, you switch between different platform mechanics, and in one platform you would think, how can I go from this to there? But in other areas that doesn't work, so you have to figure out new ways. But the only issue was, as you progress, it becomes boring. So maybe you could have branched out more. Maybe you could have gone to different directions in every cycle. Maybe you should have asked yourself questions, and maybe you could have had a interesting platforming game. Evolve Chicken and Shark the Dolphin, I don't have a valuable comment for those games. My friends spoke really well about them. I think they were amazing learning experiences as games, and that's it from me. All right, then this marks the end of this session. As it's a game design and development, we thank you for listening to here. We reviewed some games. My name is Ata Deniz Oktay, Kıvanç Yücel, and Gökcan Kırca. I hope it was beneficial to you. Maybe we hope we taught you something about game jams. And well spoken and nicely done. Thank you very much for watching. The game developers here and the teams that develop their game after the game jam, if you're going to move forward, I wish you best of luck, and thank you very much for your participation.